All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So, release day, Michael, from Taylormade, Gen 4 P790, made its way into being a classic in our studios, the best-selling iron by far.
Yeah, in this category, for sure.
Over the last 7 years. We've actually attempted this video one time before, and you made a really good point about saying the P790 was really the answer from the OEMs to PXG and their hollow body design. Obviously, at that time, the sort of TPU sort of gel that was inside those, and obviously Speedfoam was what came from Taylormade. So it's made its way into sort of the classic sort of category of irons.
You see it everywhere. I mean, so many guys and females have been fit into these irons. Our build shop's full of them. It's a good iron.
Yeah, whether it's a driving iron that's played on the PGA Tour or an iron that's designed to give the amateur golfer a little bit more distance, but still give them that sort of perspective or aesthetic that they think they're playing a player's club. It really does the job. My question, and something I'd like to kind of unite to toss around the idea of, is there a need for Gen 4? Generally, irons, I feel like they don't go through a fourth cycle. There maybe is a Gen 1, 2, and then kind of the final refinements are kind of where you get, call it perfection, but you kind of push that design as far as it goes. 2017, we had Gen 1, 19, Gen 2, 21, Gen 3. Is there a need for Gen 4?
I don't know. I mean, the tech sheet says, more tungsten, AI, sound bars, all that information, which is cool. Obviously, they're going to learn from year one to now what people are looking for.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it's better.
Yeah. Visually, I mean, if we just kind of take these sort of reaction out the box.
It's very clean.
Very clean. Yeah. You probably wouldn't know, if you were an untrained eye, you probably wouldn't be able to tell it apart from really, I'd say Gen 3. I think they've evolved a little bit since Gen sort of 1, that's for sure, but it does look quite similar.
Yeah.
It's got that white satin look to it. That seems to have evolved a little bit. What are your thoughts on that?
I just know that finish sometimes in a loft and line machine doesn't hold up, or after a few rounds.
It's gorgeous on the rack.
Yeah, it looks great brand new, but after a few rounds it gets a little swirly. So yeah, I mean, again, it's been super popular for us, so I'm sure they've done something right here.
All right, well, let's dive in. I think we're looking at it from a perspective of the spec sheet, the loft and lie sheet that we were looking at. No changes really. No. We are talking, guys, new sort of flighted CGE system that Mikey spoke about. Obviously, artificial intelligence doing a lot of the deep dive in the R&D work that helps engineers and designers understand where they need to position center of gravity in order to create the right windows of flight. We know that when the loft of a 4-iron gets down to 21 degree, like it is in this iron, that we're going to need help from the center of gravity. We're going to need it to be low to promote high launch and kind of maintain the spin. One particular concern I have with a P790, Mikey, and we'll see if it shows up today, is we have very strong lofted mid irons, and we actually have very traditional lofted short irons.
Yeah.
And because obviously the amount of loft that's on the club means that the speed pocket design is taken away, we're losing a lot of the tech that creates some ball speed retention, and we're going towards traditional, more traditional loft. Yeah. You and I both play Titleist T150s right now. The loft and the pitching wedge is 44.
44, yeah.
It's designed definitely as more of a player's iron than a P790, yet it has a stronger loft because that's what works in that iron.
Yeah.
I'm concerned. I don't know if that works from a gapping perspective.
Yeah, I mean, especially for the player that is going into this iron, they want that pitching wedge to fly that little bit extra.
Definitely.
Nothing worse than a wedge that doesn't hit your number. So yeah, what we would call modern day weaker pitching wedge, it's an interesting concept.
Definitely. All right, well, lots of theories, lots of, sort of thoughts in terms of what we think these will do, and that's the nature of the beast. When we're 4 generations in, this is not an unknown quantity to Mike and I. We've dealt with this iron for the last 6.5 years, really. So, curious to see if this gen is any different and what we're going to get from it.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's dive in. In light of what we just talked about with the loft of the club, etc., I'm not gonna expect to have a juiced yardage on this pitching wedge.
Yeah.
So at 45 degrees, it's exactly where I play my own pitching wedge. We've got a Modus 120 shaft in these. We're going to test that in all the shafts apart from the 4-iron, which is a DG 105, which is fine. But yeah, not expecting this to be particularly jumpy.
Okay.
That familiar sound that we hear. Yeah, I mean, it's a great example, isn't it? Shot one, I felt like that was okay. Hit it marginally in the toe. I swung at 87 miles an hour, pretty solid for a pitching wedge.
Yeah, and doesn't really...
And I've got 130 out of it.
Yeah. Initial thoughts on look right out of the gates?
Fine, absolutely. I mean, yeah, good. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be put off by the look of that at all. I really don't.
Good swing. Pitching wedge at almost 110 feet and spinning 8,400. I mean, it's very consistent. Like it's not like it's knuckling at, sometimes in this category of iron, I've seen pitching wedge at like 66, 7,000, and it just has no chance of stopping. This is a chance to stop all the time.
And I think that's, again, we'll find out at the end when we sort of, when we kind of are able to see the full story play out in front of us, but center gravity higher.
Yeah.
That's what should produce lower launch, higher spin. That's what people criticize these types of irons for. Two things probably is flyers and sort of that inconsistent yardage.
Yeah.
Like people always say, like, 1 minute goes 130, next minute goes 145. Right. We're going to try and see if this has improved on that. And that's what that AI, technology in the face is obviously looking to do, eliminate the inconsistencies. Hit that one as solid as I can hit it.
Yeah.
Like as solid as I can hit it.
Right out of the middle?
Right out of the middle. It felt good. Path-wise, zeroed out. Lie angle zeroed out. I couldn't have done mine more. I'm just concerned that a 133 pitching wedge, that's concerning for me.
The yardage almost looks like you're not going fully at it. You're just trying to kind of pitch them there, but that's a full swing pitching wedge for you.
At 88 miles an hour, I mean, I don't know what PGA Tour average is on pitching wedge club head speed, but I wouldn't imagine it's far off that. No,
and the average person that's getting fit into P790 is typically well below 88 miles an hour.
And probably 10 miles an hour, maybe less.
Yeah.
Like if I swing this thing at, call it 76 miles an hour, how far is this thing going to go?
Not far.
Definitely not far. So we are kind of speaking out both sides of our mouth a little bit, Mikey. We're talking about we don't want these to be jumpy.
Right.
We don't want these to be, nuclear. We want them to be consistent, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it has to be consistent to the set, and to the player who's looking for this. This 790 wedge, to me, I wouldn't be shocked if this was how a 770 wedge performed.
Yeah.
But it's not how I expected a 790 wedge to perform.
Yeah, good point. Like I said, we both play. Well, I play a 44-degree pitching wedge.
Yeah.
And it's probably not as forgiving as a 790.
Yeah.
And I don't have to swing hard at it. The player that's going to play this is going to start swinging harder because they're not getting that yardage they need, which opens the miss hit up a bit more.
Absolutely. Okay, let's do one more.
Decent little strike there.
Not bad, yeah. I felt a little toy, and it's kind of where it was, but yeah, we're doing okay.
That is one positive. That little toey strike in your club speed and ball speed doesn't drop. Nothing sacrificed.
Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Good swing.
We're kind of getting the same thing, aren't we? Really?
Yep.
Okay, strikes have been decent. Let's dive into the numbers. While I was hitting some of the shots, you pulled some averages from the PGA Tour.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, pitching wedge average club head speed is 83 miles an hour.
Yeah, so
we are well above 83, miles an hour.
Yeah.
And the average carry is 136, right? So we're starting to see, your carry is only 130 with this pitching wedge, right? So
and put it on record, if we go back to that club data, you might never ever see me deliver the club any better than that.
Yeah.
Like 1 degree from the inside, 4 down, face angle 0, dynamic lie angle 0. Like, that's as fair a test as we can give the club, realistically.
It's close to robotic because the strikes were 2 millimeters, 4 millimeters, like nothing crazy, that's for sure.
No. So, and we're saying yardage in the PGA Tour is 136.
Yeah, average carry, yep.
So I'm kind of having to put in close to 5 miles an hour more in order to get somewhere close to that.
Yeah.
That's my concern for this.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It's my concern. Anyway, let's pop into the 8.
Yep.
7, sorry.
All right, 7 iron. Progression of look, offset, pretty tight, pretty similar to pitching wedge.
Very good.
Okay.
Really good, actually. Not sure if they've slimmed it down, Mikey, but I would have 0 objections.
Right, okay.
And no one would have any objections if you gave them that. I think that's a really good looking club. 30
and a half.
30 and a half.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about, again, back to yards, just because it seems to be something we're concerned of here. I like to think of myself as progressing 12-yard increments with the irons. We had a 132 average. What was it? Is that what it was with the
136 is PGA Tour average. Yours is about 132.
132. That last one. So if 9 iron was 144, 8 iron was 156, 7 iron realistically should be 168. Right? So we're going to see pretty early on here the likelihood that we're not going to hit 168. So are we 15-yard increments? Are we 132, 147, 162, 177? Probably more like that.
Probably, yeah, closer to that.
Yeah, which is quite a lot.
It's a big gap, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the first iron, obviously, I believe that has speed pocket. Is that right? Is it still 8 iron still a solid construction?
Yes, 8 iron still solid.
Right. So no help low down in the head. This is the first one we get that in. Pretty decent.
Yeah.
You see 176 there, 77. Strike was good, launch was good, height was excellent.
Yeah.
So in that 15-yard increments, we're right on our number there.
Yeah, exactly.
177.
Yeah.
If we're okay with 15-yard increments.
Yeah, and I think, that's the fitter's job, obviously, to help get those right gaps perfectly. I don't think many people actually realize how many yards they have. Someone came to me one time. They're like, I need, should be 10 yards only. I'm like, wow, every iron. Different sets of irons are different. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 12. Yeah. My set of irons is easily 12 to 15 yards between each iron. But that's nice to see. It's exactly where we're looking for. Yeah,
it's what we guessed for sure. So it's what we guessed. It's not what I would be looking for though. It's not right. I like them tighter than that.
Yeah.
I like because to me that makes me think I've got a lot of half shots to hit. Right, 15 yards. The wider our ideal yards are per club, the more adjustments we have to make in those partial yardages. What's the one thing golfers tell us all the time? They don't like in between yardages.
Yeah.
They don't like partial wedge swings or those types of swings. So, maybe that is something to be somewhat concerned of. But as a one-off shot, you'd be over the moon.
Yep. Take a bunch of those, no problem.
Yep.
Good strike. Right out of the middle.
Right out of the middle. A little bit more on that one, Mikey.
Yeah.
I felt like I was better in the delivery of that one. The first one felt a wee bit under it. That one felt like I got a bit more compression. 182.
120 feet in the air. That's up there.
I think that's the thing the engineers have gotten really right. As lofts have gotten stronger, they've figured out the center of gravity part of it. There's no doubt about that. Whether it's Ping with kind of their dive board technology, making that top rail relax and create launch, whether it's this, with kind of the technology and the progressive CG, they figured this stuff out, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's good. Bit more like the first one was not quite it, but.
Can you take a bunch of them? Safe. Yeah, just a little low, but right out of the middle.
Right out of the middle, yeah.
Again, peak height's pretty high. You get a little bit, obviously, more distance because you've turned it over a bit more. But club speed, you're 2 mile an hour faster than average tour, and you've got your carry 10 yards. I mean, on that one, 10 yards longer than the average tour player.
Yeah. No, I mean, those honestly, those feel tremendous.
Yeah.
They really do. I love how that feels off the face. I think if we're looking at speed, launch, spin, really happy with all of it. Really happy with all of it.
In studio, it still has that typical 790, a little bit higher pitch kind of sound for that hollow head.
Very crisp.
But, I mean, numbers don't lie. It performs.
I think it's improved. I do think it's less clicky.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit more of a, I don't know, like a kind of deeper crunch to the strike. I do, as I hit it, I'm like, yeah, that really sounds quite good. But I don't feel like it's as clicky as it once was. But it looks and feels and performs really, really well.
Okay, good.
Okay, well, we're into somewhat what looks to me like driving iron territory.
Yeah.
Like this 4, it looks so strong.
I put it down and it looks strong, but it looks very clean. Not a ton of offset in the 4-iron, which is good. And I'm thinking of a few customers that, they'll put new P790 top of the bag, 4-5 iron, 3-4-5 iron.
Just to support that distance loss
Totally.
that lots of people see. I'd done a little Instagram Q&A yesterday, and there was lots of people asking me, 4-iron doesn't perform, what should I do? It's either get a 4-iron that performs like you wish your 4-iron performed, or move into the hybrid 7-wood territory.
Yeah.
Right, that's kind of your choices, and this is one of those 4-irons that you might mix up in a set and sort of add something with a bit more tech. We know with the efficiency, stroke smash factor numbers can get to with these irons, they can get pretty toasty.
Yeah.
What's average ball speed on a 4-iron PJ Tour?
You're looking at 137.
137.
96 club. There it is.
It's as good as I've got with a 4-iron, Mikey.
You say it was a nice flight.
Yeah.
And almost at dead center, just a little high on the face.
Yeah.
16 launch. Maybe, still 115 feet in the air, but 16 launch for a 4-iron, 3,600 spin. I don't know how much you're going to stop this on a green. I don't think that's what it's meant for either. But that's why we, sometimes create driving irons with these things. Because they just chase, which is nice.
Yeah. That spins on the low side for sure, but not a million miles away. 21 degrees. I carry a 22-degree hybrid right now for that reason that I do find it. I can get a little bit flat with 4-iron and also the rough performance. I feel like, you can see there why at 36.84 spin, if you get that in the rough and you drop 1,000, then you've lost all control at that point. Similar.
That was pure. The 4-iron sounds great, but when you button it out the middle every time, anything's gonna sound good.
That's true. That is true. When you're hitting out the middle, anything does sound good.
Line up every brand, hit it out of the middle. We're all gonna be like, oh, that's amazing.
This is a great club. This performs great. No, you're absolutely spot on.
That was
similar to the last one.
Easy collection of 4-irons.
Yeah, just a slightly, like a smidge higher strike.
Launch was a little bit lower, half a degree.
And spin, just probably got a little, like what I see there, path more right, angle attack shallower, so our spin loft just narrowed a touch. See if we can kind of go a little bit the other way with this one.
Ball speed's quick.
It's quick, yeah. I tried to kind of help create a bit more spin in that one.
So good.
Yeah, just spin up to 4,000, which is good. Didn't change the peak height, but it did change the angle of descent.
Yeah.
That's important to note. Like you can get less high, but you can get a steeper land angle with more spin.
Right.
Just changes
Launch goes
that.
up just a fraction.
Yeah, just a little bit.
As a 4-iron, I mean, that performed. I mean, if anyone's looking to combo a set or needs a 4-iron with some help, that is money right there.
Yeah. No, it's as good as I can hit a 4-iron, and it's as good as I think MD would need a 4-iron to look. So, you know, if we're going in those 15-yard increments from 7-iron, we said 177, right? So we've got 192 on a 6-iron, 5-iron at 207. We're at 222 on the 4-iron, which is maybe a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
What we at there? 218.
Yeah.
But you know, it's rolling out to 224.
Yeah, it's the number.
It's pretty much the number.
Yeah.
So they're consistently, you know, for me, they're consistently 15 yards club to club.
Which is nice.
I think the most impressive thing, that picture right there.
Yeah.
If you want to read the spec sheet and read what Taylormade have talked about engineering, you know, the flighted CG optimization, that's it.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Right there. Flatter, penetrating pitch and wedge, great scoring, kind of height and spin retention on the mid-irons, and then long irons performing like people dream about, hitting long irons. That image right there is exactly, I guess, what they would want to see.
Those 4-irons that you hit, is what everyone would dream to hit a 4-iron.
Yeah.
You know, you play, I'm playing on the weekend. I'd love to hit 4-iron a little bit higher, so I have a chance to actually stop and maybe spin it a bit more. And that P790 does it for you all day long. No,
it's good. Very, very impressive. They've done a lovely job, Mikey. I want to tag you in the bay because I do want to do a comparison of 2021 versus 2023. I think that's an important little, like people will ask, well, you know, is this worth a change? I like my 2021 P790. So I want to tag you in for this one. All right, Mikey, we're going to dive into 2021 P790, the one that we're currently have obviously in the drawer right now and have been selling for the last couple of years, done very well for us. And I think you guys are going to want to know, is the new one worth it? Is the new one worth a change? So let's go head to head on the 6. Let's see what we've got. Just feathering them in there.
What's the height on that? Low?
That'll be about 90-ish, 87. Wee bit pulley, but quite nice. Nice in the strike.
Face shut a bit, that's okay.
Just a touch. Touch necky?
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So good, so flush. All right, Mikey, 2023, new version.
Yeah.
Same shaft, same length, same loft,
same spec, yeah.
Right. Let's see what it does.
Unlike you, I don't know if they have made it thinner, but it definitely looks like a touch thinner. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, you're not going to want any bit of that back. Money.
Toey. But it's going to work.
I was going to say, we did leave in one of the misses, a kind of bit of a cutty miss with the last one, because I do want to kind of measure miss hits as well. I don't want it to be all about what does it do out the center, because that's...
I mean, that's a Toey miss, and it's still 122 ball.
Yeah, you dropped 3 feet. You didn't drop any, you didn't change your angle of descent at all.
No.
But it's pretty good. Let's see a couple more. So nice. I mean, the one change I'd make to this, you know, if I was in a fit with you right now, I'd make it a little more upright just to hold that start line. You're a little bit toe down with it, but
down, 3 down.
I mean, other than that, you're giving me the same shot over and over again here. Good. Good. Yeah, a little lie angle change would really be pretty good for you here. So let's look at it side by side. When it all shakes out, it's actually remarkably similar. I know we felt like you were hitting it a bit better with the new one.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've got 0.5 mile an hour, 0.1 launch, 140 41 on additional spin, same kind of carry, club delivery. Yeah, you were a little bit more toe down, which helped, make that face a little bit more right. Yeah, the reality is that the 2021 P790 user, you'd have a hard job pulling a couple of $1,000 out their pocket to upgrade.
New irons if you want to upgrade your irons, but I think people that don't have P790s or maybe they're in Gen 1 irons, you're going to see incremental gains with this iron.
Yeah. The question would be, is this the best P790 that they've ever made? Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think, pushing the design, obviously lift the hood, look underneath what's in the face, where's the weight being placed now. They've learned an awful lot, along the last, like we said, 7 years, 2017 being the first. I think, 6 years, 2017 being the first year. I think this is the best one. I don't think it's aimed at the user who's been previously in a P790.
Yeah, correct.
It's if you've never been in a P790 in a fitter or you want to give it a try, this is a great time to do so.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, you're right. The inside of this iron, I mean, our spec sheet that we were sent, and I'm sure we can throw some graphics up in this video showing the ribbing and where the speed foam sits and the tungsten sitting in these heads.
Right.
They've definitely learned. I mean, they're smart people over at Taylormade. So, it looks good. It sounds good. It feels good. It was impressive even for me, a little missy kind of face open today, and ball speed just sits where I want it to sit. So
Definitely. But at the end of the day, we're in a results-driven business, guys, and as we show and keep this ball data page up, there's not an awful lot in it, and Mikey's done a great job there of consistently managing his delivery and strike to the point where it's giving you a really accurate assessment as to gen to gen, 3 to 4, what you're really dealing with here. We're going to give it, a thumbs up and kind of obviously, very, very impressed. But it just shows you the challenge that club designers are up against now with pushing the next generation beyond what came before. It's micro steps right now. It is definitely not massive improvements. And that's where I'd always encourage you to get in the bay, get fit, make sure your lofts and lies are dialed in. I would argue that if I was fitting Mikey right now and I went and moved his loft and lies to where he needed that to, I could probably give him, enough of an argument to make this look quite a lot better than it does right here. But again, versus 2021, I could probably do the same thing for him with the 2021 set. So, pros and cons, but overall a very positive test. Really like them.
Yeah, I think they look clean. They look smart. I like the badging in the back is
nice, isn't it?
Yeah, just very, very minimalistic, which is nice.
Done a good job. All right, guys. Lots of you should be looking at P790 as an iron to consider. I'm a scratch handicapper. Mikey's a 2 handicapper. We're probably not the ideal candidate for this, but hopefully by us hitting it and giving you guys an idea of what it does for our numbers, you can maybe see a little bit of what it could do for you. I think get it in the bay, get fit for it. I think you're likely to see more height, more distance. I think, from a feel perspective, I think you're going to really enjoy the crispness, the crunch that comes from the strike and the sound. So I think it's going to tick a lot of boxes for a lot of people. So definitely make sure it's, if you're in that, I'd call it 5 to, you probably go up to, a good ball striker around the kind of 12 to 15 range could also probably handle these. But if you're in that range and you're looking for something to give you that little bit extra height, distance, manage your mishits a little bit more, but really give you that look that's very, very clean, I think this is ticking all the boxes for that. So definitely give it a try. We'll be testing against other similar designed irons over the next kind of few weeks. I think we've got quite a few new ones in now that we would like to put them up against one another and see which comes out on top. But they're all pretty good, aren't they?
Yeah, everyone's releasing good product.
They're doing good stuff. All right, guys, let us know your comments. If you've been in a previous gen, P790, does this appeal to you? Does it not appeal to you? Have you thought about P790? Now this is the one that really appeals to you, that makes you think that, I'm going to give it a try this time. Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your feedback and thoughts. Or is Gen 4 overkill? Have they done one too many, and it was time to kind of reinvent it a little bit. Love to hear what you guys are thinking. That's some of the thoughts that are in our mind, and I know you guys will be thinking similar stuff. So stay tuned for more, and we'll see you again soon.